And with that, we are now pleased to be joined by the voice of the Komets, Shane Albahrani. Thanks for stopping by.
Anytime.
Shane. Good to see you again. Hard to believe, but after tonight, just 9 games left here in the regular season, and still a lot of fun and business can happen down the stretch.
Yeah, 9 games left, and there's a lot that can happen in that 9 games. So the Komets in 3rd place, not a comfortable lead at all, obviously, on Kalamazoo, but you got a few points on the teams behind you, Wheeling and Indianapolis, and a few games at hand, I believe 2. So there's a bit of good news. So at least you've got those in your pocket. But now that we have 9 games left, it's time to start cashing those in.
Absolutely. What's got to be some keys here down the stretch now for the Komets if you want to think, that they want to go out and maybe distance themselves a little bit more from Indy and Wheeling and maybe even give them a little further bump from Kalamazoo?
Well, right now it's just all about winning hockey games. At this point in the season, it's going to be down to the guys in the locker room. I know this team has changed. It's had a lot of turnover this year, but the core group is still there, and there's a lot of talent on this team.
Absolutely.
So it's those veteran players, getting the most out of the rookies. And, the goaltender situation is up in the air, too, without Zach Fucale. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully, Zach won't be gone too long. But Eric Levine, certainly a seasoned guy to back him up. A little shaky against Kalamazoo, but he hadn't played in a month. So he knocked the rust off and seemed to smooth out there towards the 2nd and 3rd period. So, a lot of questions, a lot of question marks like we've had, through the first 60 some odd games.
I was going to say, it seems like that's been a calling card all year long, but how much of a rallying point can some of these veteran guys like Jamie Shasman, Sean Sadlowski, and Mason Baptista be, guys who have been here for this kind of a stretch run before?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to those guys at this point, really. I mean, it's those guys to give, the rah, in the locker room. There's only so much the coaches can do motivating-wise, so it comes down to the guys on the bench, and when you get on the ice, you're playing for the guy next to you. So, no, I mean, the guys who were on this team last year, Sean Sadlowski's been on the team a few years now. He's gone to the conference championship twice. Cody Soul, the same thing. So, those guys, Jamie Shasma, this could be their last go-around. Who knows? So, they're hungry, and they want a championship. And the way this team has been so hot and cold, once you get into the playoffs, who knows what's going to happen, so...
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie said it the other night after the game. He's not content with how they're playing right now. What do you feel like has to change?
If it's not one thing, it's another. You can't get goaltending, defense, and the offense going the same night. That has really been the issue. So it's like you can't really pinpoint things. But what I noticed most Wednesday night was not transitioning from offense to defense quickly enough. That's how the Komets got beat Wednesday night. Kalamazoo did a much better job. When there was a turnover in the neutral zone, they were right on you offensively, and they turned the puck over defensively, they were back. So that was the big thing. They moved more as a unit. So I think, again, it's hard, can't believe we're still saying this, getting to play as a team this late in the season, but still that's what they have to do. They can't just rely on individual talent.
So really, once again, you feel like the offense isn't the problem necessarily. It's more, hey, we've got to play at that blue line. We've got to play back in our defensive zone.
Yeah. I think that the defense have done a better job moving the puck. Sean Flanagan has really helped in that once we acquired him a couple months ago. So that was a problem the first of the season. But when it comes to defense, I mean, it's also the forwards, too. It's the forwards getting back. The forwards also have to block shots as well. So defensively, you can't just put it at the guys at the blue line. It's everybody.
Looking at some of the roster changes, like you mentioned, obviously, guys we got early in the year, Brady Shaw, J.C. Campagna, both playing tremendous hockey right now. 2 of the leading goal scorers on the team. How have they really impacted this offense?
Well, J.C. Campagna, he's got one of the best wrist shots I've ever seen. I mean, and that's going back, to the old IHL. I've seen a lot of hockey, and J.C. Campagna has got just a wicked shot. And Brady Shaw, well, he's just a hard worker. He's just a grinder. He's one of those guys, every second, every shift, every stride, he's trying to beat you. So, no, those guys bring a little bit of intensity out there offensively. And again, when you got somebody, who is playing so well offensively, it takes those other guys, gives them a chance to play up to their level because, you got to keep up with those guys. So,
yeah, Shaw really seems, from the time I've gotten to watch him, he seems like the guy that's going to go out and try and get those greasy goals, the guy that's just going to outwork anybody else on the ice.
Yeah.
how do you think that mentality can really help the rest of this team, with these 9 games left?
You know what? It's again, lead by example.
Yeah.
There's so many strong personalities also on this team as well. So you take a Brady Shaw who, like you said, is just gritty, and it's like but he's a guy who just hop on his back, and follow his methods by crashing the net. Like you said, he is always going to the net, and he's always getting anything dirty in front of the net. So, and that's another thing that we haven't done quite as well, going to the net. And that was a problem Wednesday night against Kalamazoo. Left a lot of rebounds out. Their goaltender did. Empty nets, but nobody was in the right spot because nobody was crashing the net. So it's just be aggressive, just play intensive hockey, and you know what? You just got to win hockey games. There's no excuses now.
Do you feel like there's any 1 or 2 guys that maybe this team needs to get going here in these last few games if they want to be able to put a little bit of distance between themselves?
Oh no, I mean it's a team effort at this point. Sean Sadlowski was the guy who we had to get going, and he got going in a big way. So he's going. Justin Hodgman hasn't had. He's been a little off the past few games. So yeah, there's a guy who needs to get it going, but we certainly know what he's capable of. But again, it's not one individual. It is it's been individual all season. It's time now to play as a team in one unit.
What's your most optimistic outlook here for these last 9 games?
Oh, you know what? I really wish I had a feeling about these last 9 games. This team has got enough talent to win all 9, but the way this season is going, you could see losing 4 or 5 of them in 1-goal fashions or overtime. So you really don't have any type of feeling. Again, the way this team has been, and I got to say, it hasn't been a boring season for me. It's been frustrating, but it certainly has not been boring. So I expect all these games down the stretch to be very good. And again, the Komets are in a good spot. They're in the playoffs as of right now. They've got games at hand. They've got a few points on Indy and Wheeling, so still in a good spot. So if you come out, have a good weekend this weekend, you know what? It's going to ease the pressure for the last few games.
And like you said, just comes down to winning some hockey games right now. Hopefully the Komets can do that over these last few weeks, especially with a lot of division points still on the line.
Yeah, only 1 game outside of the division in the final 10. So, yeah, so everything is on the line. And the way that the division is set up scheduling-wise, the Central Division has just beaten up on each other all year. And they're all playing each other this week and next week. So not a lot of outside of the division for any of the teams. So there's a lot of points up for grabs.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the last 9. Hopefully the K's can make a good push come playoff time. He's Shane Albahrani. You can catch him every Komets game night on WoWo. For now, though, I'm Justin Prince. We'll have more in the locker room right after this.